So I really don't like the way this camera works on this phone, but the battery is so good on this phone that a lot of times I'm just forced to use this phone when my other phone's out of battery and there's something to film, you know. But so what's kind of happened is I got this like refurbished. Well, I had I had a really old iPhone that was sort of not charging, right? And so I I decided to and actually, it had that same problem half a year ago too when someone kind of fixed it. But it's a really old. It's an 8, and it's probably like 6, 7 years old, right? It's an old phone. But it's kind of complicated because what happened was when I was in Seattle, that phone fell apart, and I got this phone for my Insta work jobs because you have to have a phone when you're working Insta work, right, to get paid and everything, to clock in even, right? So I got this, and then when I was in California. I went to the Apple store. The guy fixed that phone. So I've been using that phone, and I left this phone in the States when I left. Actually, I couldn't find this phone. This phone was missing for a while. But anyway, so I brought with me the iPhone with me traveling, and it worked really well until like the last couple weeks, and then it was doing the thing where it would be charging, then it wouldn't be charging, and it would all of a sudden be dead, And so I was like, okay, when I get back, I got to really like figure out a new phone. And so I got back to California, and I saw they had these like refurbished phones at Target for like $200, like an SE. It might have been like a second or third model. I'm not sure, but like I was like, well, I'm going to experiment with that instead of just buying a brand new one, just see what happens. And maybe if I actually put a new battery in it, it would run better. But like it, it, it was holding charge good until like a few days ago, and then it just would like it would do the same thing that my other phone was doing, where it would just stop charging. But then I was at Starbucks, and I just put in the cord straight in without the block, and it was working. So I think it might be the block, right? But sometimes it still doesn't. I don't know. Just sometimes it just doesn't seem consistent. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my super old iPhone and that iPhone and just trade it towards a new iPhone, because I know iPhones are trendy and people make fun of them, but I like them. I don't know. I just like to have a certain comfort level. I feel like the Android for me, and maybe it's because this is a lower end Android, but it feels very jumpy. Like things will just start jumping around, and you'll be typing something, it'll go out, and maybe that's just this phone. I don't know. I mean, I did own a Samsung Galaxy 7 for a long time, and that was good. And I had a really old one that I got off of eBay that I was actually using sometimes just as a backup. But I mean, it wasn't super reliable. But it came in a pinch sometimes, and sometimes I was using it with the local SIM cards and stuff like that. But anyway, I want to just like stop. I mean, and this is actually like sort of an allegory for my whole life. I feel like a lot of times my life gets super complicated because I'm trying to take these little shortcuts and, okay, so now I got this phone that half works and this phone that half works. It would have just been better off if I bought a new phone from the get go. But and I've just realized I have to like stop these like shortcuts. It's just like, you know, oh well, if I get I'll save like a couple $100 or whatever. Yeah, but then it's like all that inconvenience. And I also think that's really important to get Apple Care, because it's like stuff just happens to phones. It's like, if that happened to the phone, they'd have to fix it, right? I think I'll have to talk to somebody because it seemed to be a problem that I've had. But anyways, so what happened today was this phone had my Google Fi SIM card in it, but for some reason, the Google Maps was not working all of a sudden. And I use Google Maps a lot when I'm walking around because I don't really know my way around that well here. So I'm in Costa Rica. I've only been here 5 days. I've never been here before in my life, so I don't know it at all, really. I mean, I feel like I kind of know it now, but just this area. And um, anyway, so what happened was I was at the bus stop and I switched the SIM card into the iPhone just so that I could use the Google Maps to find my way around town, right? But then by the time I was like in town, it was so low on like it just went. The battery went so fast. It was actually only at half. I only charged it half because I didn't think I was going to need it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm actually glad I had it as backup. But so anyway, I took this. I walked from San Antonio Hills to like down to like San Rafael and a little past there. I'm not sure, to this like bus stop, and I took the bus stop, and it was just around $1, slightly under, I think, just around $1. So I because it was like 480 or something, so 500's like $1. So it was like really, I don't know. So I took that bus to the end of the line in San Jose proper, in the downtown area where there's like a walking street, and um, I walked over to the bar called Kubrick, but like I don't know, I just did not feel like I don't know. First of all, I was all sweaty and stuff. I just kind of went in there real quick just to check it out, but like it was pretty expensive too. Like it was like $5 for a Red Bull, which is typical bar prices. But I was just like, you know what, I don't want to. I don't feel like hanging out. I think I want to go back there sometime, maybe. If I'm not all sweaty, and go and check it out more because it looked pretty cool, and it's right by this like kind of neat movie theater, which I'd maybe go to, but I think it's all in Spanish. And I mean, if there were subtitles, I would, but I don't think there are in English. But anyway, so then I was like, you know what? My phone's running out. I got to start making my way back, and I walked through this area called the Carmen district. I think I walked through some parts that were a little bit not great actually to walk through, but it was daytime and I kept making sure there was like, I'd be like, okay, there's a restaurant there, there's a supermarket there if I need to duck in or something, and I was just very careful. I didn't really have my phone out much, but I would kind of duck and look at it to see where I was going, right? And I sort of did like a walk jog down like 10th. I think it was called 10th. And it's like a big street that goes way down, and then you hit like 22nd, I think it is. And there's this big like kind of like triangle area where there's a big park, and there's like all this stuff, and there's a McDonald's. So I stopped at the McDonald's to kind of like just get the directions figured out and get this phone back on. And so then actually it seemed like for some reason then the Google Maps was working on this phone when I put the SIM card back in this phone. For some reason it seemed, but then Messenger wasn't working for some reason. Like I was talking to my brother from the McDonald's because it was using the Wi-Fi, but then when I was walking, it dropped the call. So I don't know. It's just some things work good on Google Fi and some things don't. I feel like when I'm using Google Fi with the iPhone, I feel like Messenger works fine when I'm just using the Google Fi. I don't know what's going on with it. But anyway, so from there I decided to get the bus because it said the bus was going back towards like Escazu, which is like near where I stay. So I say like I thought I was staying in Escazu, but it's actually more like San Antonio. It's like the hills above Escazu. So I took this bus and we went by Escazu, and I was probably like a couple miles or a couple kilometers even from where I'm staying. But I was like, I want to see where this bus goes, like because I thought it was going to loop around because it says it's like a number 9, and I thought it was just going to go to the end and then start over again. But anyway, so it went through like Santa Ana and then like this thing called Pozos, I think, which means like I think springs. I think there's like some kind of hot springs out there or something.